In mycoplasma, you do not find any cell wall even, right? Any more point? Which ribosome is present?
Absence of nuclear membrane.
Absence of nuclear membrane, first point, okay. And which ribosome is present?
70 years.
70.
Only 70 years. 80 years is completely absent, okay. Is there any presence of hair-like structures?
Sir,
Hmm.
sir, is there a cell wall in Archaebacteria?
In Archaebacteria, cell wall is there, but it is not made up of peptidoglycan.
Okay, sir.
Okay. We'll discuss Archaebacteria again in detail. You'll find some hair-like structures known as pili or fimbriae. Fimbriae, okay. Pili and fimbriae. So these are what? These are some hair-like outgrowths. They also help in attaching with any substratum or with any other bacteria. We'll discuss. Now see, you have said about mesosome. You are correct. Mesosomes are not compulsorily present, but still are a structure found in prokaryotes. You may find plasmids, right? We can find plasmids. We can find inclusion bodies. Have I told in the last class?
Yes, sir.
Inclusion bodies, different types of say fat droplets and other small say rubisco and other enzymes and components will be there in the cytoplasm. You can see them. So those are called, even gas vacuoles are also considered as inclusion body. Now today we'll discuss a very special thing. We will categorize. Yes.
Sir, I had doubts from the earlier class.
Sure.
Sir, I'm a little bit confused between two terms, chemosynthetic and holozoic. Could you please explain them?
Holozoic means what? What do you mean by holozoic? You should understand this holophytic and holozoic. Holophytic means what? Plant-like nutrition. That means what? Autotrophic. When you say holozoic means animal-like nutrition. So it will have a mouth, it will chew and it will digest. So those things are what? Holozoic nutrition. Holozoic means through mouth it will take the food, right? And what you have asked me?
Sir, chemosynthetic.
Chemosynthetic is absolutely different. There is no relationship between holozoic and chemosynthetic. Chemosynthetic, like it will conduct some chemical reaction and then whatever energy will come out, it will accept that. Okay, and it will utilize that, say hydrogen chelating bacteria, hydrogen bacteria, iron bacteria, then the nitrogen fixing bacteria. Those are chemosynthetic bacteria, right?
Sir, in photosynthesis, light is present. In chemosynthesis, light is absent.
In chemosynthesis, light also may be present, but light may be present as a source of energy. But electrons and protons, it has to be donated. So as a donors for electron and proton, there will be sometime it may be organic or inorganic component. We'll discuss again in detail. So remember, chemosynthetic here, chemosynthetic bacteria, in every time light may not be required. Is this clear? Say hydrogen bacteria, iron chelating bacteria, they don't require any light. Say iron ferrous to ferric interconversion it will do, and whatever energy is coming out, it is utilizing that. So does it require any iron there? No, sorry, light there?
No, sir.
No. Is it clear now?
Sir, could you please explain what is the difference between photosynthesis and chemosynthesis?
Photosynthesis means what? Light is the light. Here I thought I'll explain this later. Okay, you have asked me. Let me explain. When you say photosynthesis, source of energy is what? Light. Okay. If it is chemosynthesis, wait. Let me check whether it is present here or in the next slide I have prepared for you. No, it is not here. We have categorized the bacterial classification in different way based on nutrition also. Okay, I'll discuss them, but not in today's class. Now see, when we say photosynthesis, what exactly happens in photosynthesis? Light is trapped, no?
Yes, sir.
Light energy is trapped. So when light energy is trapped, then we are saying this is photosynthesis. When chemical energy is trapped and food is synthesized, then this is chemosynthesis. Is this clear? When
Okay,
a
sir.
chemical reaction is conducted, then there will be what, liberation of energy or not?
Yes, sir.
In some types of reaction there will be liberation of energy. So that energy, when an organism utilizes, then this is chemosynthetic, right? And when light energy is trapped and then it is fixing or producing food, that it is called photosynthetic. I think this is clear now.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir, in the last class, you discussed about blue-green algae, sir.
Mm.
So blue-green algae is an algae or bacteria?
Blue green algae are actually bacteria. Okay, blue green
Sir,
algae are bolo.
sir, if they're bacteria, then why are they named algae?
Originally we thought they are algae, because even if you study father of phycology means, or study of algae is called phycology. Father of phycology is Fritsch. Fritsch has also considered it under algae. Now why it is so? Because they are photosynthetic. Okay, and they have chlorophyll A. Is that clear? They have thylakoid membranes. So some of the features because of which they are originally considered under algae. Not only that, you will find that diatoms, dinoflagellates, they were also considered under algae. But in RH Whitaker system, when we see in whole NCERT, we are to study RH Whitaker system of classification, right? So according to RH Whitaker system of classification, we consider them under prokaryotes. And actually these are prokaryotes, these are monera, because they don't have any nuclear membrane. Because of nutritional pattern and this photosynthetic ability, we were earlier considered them as algae, right? So we have given the term blue-green algae because of their specific coloration. Is this clear, Tanvi?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Mm. So originally they were considered as algae, but now we are following RH Whitaker system of classification. Here we are not interested, we are not saying that these are algae, rather we say these are actually monerans. Okay. See, this system of classification, they are changing, is not it? They are changing time to time. We are changing this system of classification. What is the basis? Why we are changing this system of classification time to time?
Sir, because new information is coming regarding organisms.
New informations are coming. So when new informations are coming, then our knowledge towards them is also increasing. Then we find that okay, with earlier system we cannot follow because there are some loopholes. Got the idea? So when find that if we follow the earlier system, then we cannot solve these issues. So time to time we find there is a requirement to establish new system. So we are saying in this moment, presently we are following which system? A very advanced system. In 1969 it has been proposed, that is RH Whitaker system of classification. Fritsch has given this classification much earlier. Is that clear? So at that time it was regarded as algae. Now we are saying no. How can you say it algae? Because now we have seen there is no nuclear membrane and this and that structures, all the features, they closely resemble a bacteria. So we have changed it and we have considered them as okay. You should keep them under Monera, not under chlorophycine. Just because of the presence of a pigment and presence of a cell wall, which is not made up of cellulose, you cannot consider them what? A plant, right?
Okay, sir.
Now see, a bacteria have a cell wall. This is the cell wall. It will have a genetic material also. Genetic material of a bacteria is a circular molecule of DNA, right? Okay. Thank you, Cyril. Check it here. This is what? The DNA. Which DNA? DNA is a double-stranded DNA. Is not it? The DNA which is present is a double-stranded DNA. And another characteristics, it's a circular DNA. Okay, it's a circular DNA. So this is one characteristics. This is cell wall. We are saying this is cell wall, right? Now cell wall in bacteria is made up of what? Cell wall in bacteria is made up of
Peptidoglycan.
peptidoglycan. Now I'm drawing some other layer. There's another layer I'm trying to draw here. What is this layer? This is a mucus layer, a mucus filled layer, right? So this layer, it is known as, what is the name?
Glycocalyx.
Exactly. Very good, Richard. This is called glycocalyx. So glycocalyx, what is the function of glycocalyx? Basically, mucus-like substances are released. Okay. So what happens? This glycocalyx name suggests what? A glyco part is there. Glyco means carbohydrate. So mucus-like substances are released here. So this glycocalyx actually helps the bacteria in to avoid desiccation. Desiccation means to dry up and to die. Okay. So glycocalyx, if you unscrew, say this is a adhesive tube. Okay, it is an adhesive tube, and you have just opened it, and you have not recapped it. Under that condition, what will happen? Hmm? The whole adhesive of this tube will become dried up, or near this mouth part it will be dried up.
Then near the mouth.
Near this part, exactly. That means here, if it dries up in this area, if it dries up, then what will happen? It will, this portion will become very hard, and as a result, the rest part will retain the moisture content. Is this clear? Same strategy here also they follow. This glycocalyx, it will lose water and it will become dried. So during, it is mucus filled, no? So within which the bacteria, it can prevent further loss of water. Thus glycocalyx prevent what? Excessive loss of water, and it's a very sticky layer also. So it's a mucus layer actually. So this is the role of glycocalyx. It is one role, one of the two role. There is another role of glycocalyx. Can you tell me what? What is the other role of glycocalyx?
Sir, acting as lubricant.
No, it is no doubt acting as lubricant. Sometimes you find this glycocalyx layer is very thin, and sometimes you find the glycocalyx layer is very thick. If the glycocalyx layer is thick one, then what will happen? How it will help? Then we say that layer as a capsule, right? We say this layer as a capsule. So when it forms a capsule, then just below glycocalyx, this is what? Cell wall, cell membrane. They have some protein structures also. Okay. Now see, when a bacteria enters within our body, have you noticed whenever a bacteria enters in our body immediately recognizes that a foreign structure has entered and try to kill it? Hello?
Yes, sir.
How many cells are there in our body? In a adult person's body, how many cells are there? Approximately trillions of cells are there. Not in billion, in trillion. Trillions of cells are there. And when a bacteria enters, it can immediately identify that bacteria. On what basis it is identifying that bacteria? Hmm? Any idea? Because of some proteins. Remember, these are because of some actually glycoproteins. Okay, so because of some proteins which are adhered to the plasma membrane. So when a bacteria enters in our body detects whether it is having the same kind of protein what our body actually in each and every cell of our body have a specific type of glycoprotein that is called a glycoprotein. It acts as a hallmark. Okay, try to understand in this way. Say in my class there are 50 students sitting and it is my first class and I don't know all of you. Okay, 50 students are sitting here and I don't know all of you by your face, right? Under that condition, I have entered the classroom and I have found, okay, one outsider is also sitting with you. Can I identify? Hmm? Can I identify?
No, sir.
No. That means what? I cannot identify. But if I find that all of you are wearing an uniform, so at that moment I can easily identify or not.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hmm? All of
So,
you are wearing an uniform and this guy without uniform it is sitting here, so immediately he will be focused. So same thing in our each and every cell, specific types of proteins are present or glycoproteins are present, because of which our body can recognize self and non-self. Is this clear now? Our body can recognize self and non-self. So whenever a foreign structure enters, it can immediately raise the alarm. Okay, so this is a foreign structure. It has entered. Most probably it is a harmful substance. So better to kill it. And immediately our body will form some antibodies to kill them. Is that clear? Now here, if a bacteria forms a very thick layer of glycocalyx, those proteins which are present here, they are not visible. Are you getting my point? So those proteins which are actually by observing those protein, our body can recognize them. If these are not properly visible, then this bacteria can very easily fool our immune system. Is this clear now? So a bacteria which is having a thick layer of glycocalyx, they are called smooth bacteria, and most of them are pathogenic because our body's immune system cannot identify them. So these are what? These are dangerous, these are pathogenic. And a bacteria which is not having such a thorough structure and it is having a thin layer of glycocalyx, under that condition we say them as raft bacteria. Okay, or R strain. Okay, often we say R strain, R strain. So these R strain or raft bacteria are non-pathogenic, avirulent. Are you getting my point? Because when they will enter in our body, our system can immediately identify, they can arrest it. So there is no problem it from our state. But definitely from smooth bacteria there will be some problem. I think this is clear. Now
Yes, sir.
this is one point, this is called glycocalyx. In the cell wall, if we see, in the cell wall of majority of bacteria contains what? Peptidoglycan. They contain peptidoglycan. Now check it here. Peptidoglycan, peptidoglycan, its name suggests what? It has two types of bond. Peptide bonds mean what? Which bonds are called peptide bonds? Do you know?
These are the bonds that link the NH2 and COOH of
Means
proteins.
between two amino acids.
Yes, sir.
Between two amino acids, peptide bonds are formed. That means when I say peptidoglycan, amino acids are present here. Is this clear? And
Yes, sir.
glycan name suggests carbohydrates. So when you say peptidoglycan, it simply indicates it has two components. One is amino, another is carbohydrate, right? So it has two components, amino acids and carbohydrate part. So you will find this peptidoglycan, its structure if we consider, then basically it is made up of NAM, NAG and 4 amino acids. What is the full form of NAM? N-acetyl muramic acid. Okay, N means N-acetyl muramic acid. This is NAM. What is the full form of NAG? N-acetyl glucosamine. Okay, N-acetyl glucosamine. So these two, they interlink each other, along with which 4 amino acids. These are D-alanine, L-alanine, D-glutamic acid, and L-lysine are present. Can you remember? Are you writing?
Yes, sir.
So peptidoglycan is made up of what? All these components. Here you find NAM, NAG, and 4 amino acids are there. So this is the structural component of peptidoglycan. Have you written this part? Say
Sir,
this
wait.
is okay. Say this is a bacteria. Say this is a bacteria, and it has a smooth layer of what? Peptidoglycan. Consider this is another bacteria, and in this bacteria what we find, the layer is not very smooth. Consider it has another layer. right? Oh, oh, oh. Forget about this layer. This is the cell wall, this is the cell wall, okay, and this is considered plasma membrane. Now here you check, in this bacteria this wall is very smooth and thick. In this bacteria this wall is in contrast to this bacteria it is thinner, but it is bilayered. In the inner wall, in the inner layer you have got this peptidoglycan. And in the outer side you will find what? Say this is lipoprotein. Lipoprotein. Then what will happen? Obviously this one is more complex, right? This one is more complex. It is having a lipoprotein layer here, and then it is having a peptidoglycan layer. Overall thickness of this cell wall is less here. Here it is more thicker. It is thicker, but problem is that it is made up of only one layer, means peptidoglycan. Okay, so this is one point, remember. So one scientist, what is his name? Christian Gram. Christian Gram, he has devised a staining technique, okay, and that technique is known as Gram staining. So what is Gram staining? In Gram staining, he has found when Gram stain is applied, then two groups of bacteria, I can say, they react differently. One group, they can retain Gram stain. Another group, they cannot retain the Gram stain. Yes, one group can retain Gram stain, another group, they cannot retain the Gram stain. So if it cannot retain the Gram stain, then these are called Gram negative bacteria. If it can retain the Gram stain, it is called Gram positive bacteria. Okay. Then what is found? All the Gram positive bacteria, they share certain sets of character, and all the Gram negative bacteria also share certain sets of characters. And it is found most of the Gram negative bacteria are pathogenic. Okay, most of the bacteria are pathogenic, which are Gram negative bacteria. Is this clear? So I'll explain. I'll
Sir,
definitely explain.
what is sir?
I'll come to that point. Wait. Now see, if it is a Gram negative bacteria, imagine this point. It is Gram negative. It is what? It is Gram positive bacteria. Why it is Gram positive bacteria?
It can retain Gram stain.
Yes, exactly. It
It's
can
the Gram stain.
hold the Gram stain, and it will color. Actually, Gram's color of the Gram stain is violet, so it will appear violet after staining. But here it cannot retain Gram stain. It cannot retain Gram stain, so it will be initially colorless. Then it will take the counter stain. Let us discuss the staining method. Say this is a glass slide. You have seen glass slide?
Yes, sir.
Yes. This is a glass slide. Say you want to see a bacteria under microscope. You have to take the bacterial solution. For that, what is suggested? Say you want to see the card, bacteria from card. Okay, you want to see the bacteria from card. Now, if you want to see bacteria from card, you make a solution here. Okay, you add some card and add some water. You mix it properly. Now, allow it to settle down. When everything settles down, you have to take the clear water. Are you getting my point? You have to take the clear water, one drop of clear water. You are not to take the card. If you take card, what will be the problem? You will be confused which one is the card protein and which one is bacteria. So you have to take the clear solution. So when the card solution you have prepared, all the bacteria will come to this water also. So you can get enough amount of bacteria here. So this is the bacterial solution. Is this clear? You can collect root nodules. In root nodule, which bacteria is found?
Rhizopus. Bium.
Rhizobium, not rhizopus. Rhizopus is different. Have you heard this term black fungus?
Yes, sir.
What is
Yes,
black
sir.
fungus? What is black fungus?
Sir, mucor.
Mucor and rhizopus are bhai. Okay, they belong to the same class. So mucor and rhizopus. Rhizopus, have you seen rhizopus?
Sir.
Hmm? Have you seen? Yes. Acha, if you keep Rohit, keep yourself mute. Okay, thank you. Now check it here. If you have a piece of bread, if you keep it in moist condition, some black colored substances grows. Have you noticed?
Yes, sir.
Hmm?
Yes, sir.
Have you really noticed?
Yes, sir.
In which particular brand you have noticed this?
Sir, once it happened in my tiffin.
Okay, that's good. Then always try to purchase that brand. Got my point? No. Initially, I can still remember when I was a student. At that time, I was in cotton hostel, and at that time, I used to keep some bread, sometime or biscuits in my drawer. And that hostel where I used to stay was absolutely dry. There is no moisture, nothing. But still, I used to find that hardly 1 or 2 days, within 2 days, means the bread will get enough fungus. Afterwards, when I was doing my PhD work, at that time I find that I used to purchase bread and I used to keep them in a drawer or in a dark place, but nothing grows. Then I have once inoculated this rhizopus. Then also nothing is growing. The rhizopus even died. Can you imagine? Then I got understood one point that most probably nowadays they add some antifungal, which is very much harmful for your liver, okay, and for our body overall. So often I find antifungal, I don't know, I'm not sure, but it was my guess and probably the right guess. Otherwise, if fungus is unable to grow in the most optimum condition after inoculation also, then it is sure and certain some antifungal agent they have added, and this is very odd condition. So afterwards, many time I have found after consumption of bread I find some uneasiness. Okay, so while purchasing bread you can make this test. You keep it, add some, sprinkle some water and keep it in a dark place. If you find within 2 or 3 days this black fungus are growing, that means it is safe for you, because fungus are growing there, that means it is safe for you. If fungus are not growing there, then this is very dangerous. Avoid those type of bread. I am not interested to name some brand, but this is a fact. You test yourself, right? So these are nothing but rhizopus. So this is about rhizopus, story of rhizopus I told you. Now check it here. You have taken what? Here you have taken a drop of, acha, I can go like this. A drop of bacterial solution you have taken. Now check, this is another what? Glass slide. You keep it at 45-degree angle and draw it once, right? When you draw it once, then what will happen? The moment when you touch it here, you'll find all the solution will be spreaded here. Now draw it once, only once, then all the bacteria will be spreaded in this what? In this glass slide. So when all the bacteria are spreaded here, I can consider, say these are the bacteria, okay, these are the bacteria. You have spreaded this bacteria here, right? So these bacteria present here. You allow it to air dry. Okay, if you allow it to air dry, then what will happen? Bacteria has outermost layer is what? Peptidoglycan, which is nothing but mucus only. So under that condition, what we find, the bacteria will get adhered to this glass surface. Is that clear? Now you are to add the dye. Which dye? Crystal violet dye. You will add crystal violet dye. So all the bacteria will absorb crystal violet dye. Now, have you seen when we purchase, say, some cloths, after purchasing, if you wash, then color goes. Have you noticed? Hmm? Sometime we
Yes, sir.
find, yes. So sometime we find when we wash it after purchasing a new cloth, then what happens? Color goes. So we say this is what? Uh, this is because this color is not properly fixed. Under that condition, we can use a mordant. What is a mordant? Mordant is a color fixer. So here in this case, we use iodine as a mordant. Remember, what is a mordant? It is a color fixer. So when we are adding crystal violet and then we are adding iodine, what will happen? Crystal violet and iodine, they will bind each other and form a complex that is called crystal violet iodine complex, right? It will form crystal violet iodine complex. So once this crystal violet iodine complex is formed, then the color will be fixed to the wall of the bacteria, each and every bacteria. Maybe gram positive, maybe gram negative. Under this condition, if we collect this bacteria, okay. Under this condition, if you collect this bacterial slide and keep it under microscope, you will find whether it is gram positive or negative, it will be violeted color, right? Now what to do? Now we have to wash this glass slide gently with alcohol, okay? Washing with, say, absolute alcohol, or you can say alcohol, at least 90%. And for washing, basically we use what? Ethanol, or with any organic solvent like acetone, you can wash. Clear? After washing, if we check it under microscope, then if you will find, if it is a gram positive bacteria, it will retain the color, and if it is a gram negative bacteria, it will be colorless. Okay, so next what we'll do, we use a counter stain, right? We use a counter stain. As a counter stain, popular stain, you know this name, we use safranin. Have you heard this name, safranin?
Yes, sir.
What is the color of safranin?
There's saffron.
It's a red color. We consider it is a red color. Okay, so after treating with safranin, you will find the color will appear red, right? So initially it was, you have added a violet stain, now you have added safranin. Now you'll find two groups of bacteria. One group will be what? Violet. Another group will be red. Okay, one group is violet, another group is red. Okay, then we infer simply, if it is violet, it is gram positive. If it is red, it is gram negative. Okay, now what is the basis of this difference in the coloration? Then it is investigated and found, in case of gram positive bacteria, it has more peptidoglycan and lipid content is very less here. In a gram positive bacteria, 2 to maximum 5%, hardly you will get 5%, 2 to 5% lipid is there. And the rest are basically are 80 to 90% you'll find it is what? Peptidoglycan. Okay, so this is the composition of the cell wall of gram positive bacteria. But if it is gram negative bacteria, if it is a gram negative bacteria, what we find in its cell wall, since one complete layer is made up of what? Lipid. So at least 20 to 30%, even more lipid is there. Okay, and peptidoglycan content is less here. Okay, it has peptidoglycan content less and lipid content is very high. Here it is having more amount of peptidoglycan and lipid content is very less. So what happens here? This lipid, when we alcohol wash, see, when we wash with alcohol, then what will happen? Lipid dissolves in alcohol and it goes away, right? So lipid melts in alcohol, no? It dissolves in alcohol and it goes away. So when lipid goes away, along with the lipid, this crystal violet iodine complex also go away. Is this clear? Is it clear to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So when lipid go away, crystal violet iodine complex also go away. As a result, this cell will be colorless and it will retain violet color. Now see, it has become colorless. So when you add the counter stain, it will take the stain. But it is already stained, so it will not take the stain. Is this clear? So based on that, we are simply able to see one is violet, another is red in color. And we can say this is gram positive, this is gram negative. Lots of characters you'll find. They are similar in all gram positive bacteria, and in all gram negative bacteria also similarly there will be lots of characters they are same. And that's why while treating a patient who has got any bacterial infection, this knowledge is very important. एक minute. Just a minute. I'm unable to connect my laptop. My laptop is out of battery. अच्छा देखते हैं चलो कितना देर क्लास ले सकता हूँ. And there is no electricity. Okay, now check it here. Is this clear? Concept is clear or not?
Yes, sir.
Is
Sir,
it
can
clear
you
to all?
repeat again?
Yes, sure. Now check it. In this case, what we have done, uh, in gram-positive bacteria, this is gram-positive bacteria. In gram-positive bacteria, lipid content is very less, and in gram-negative bacteria, lipid content is very high. So what makes the difference here? Because lipid content is very high, so when we alcohol wash, then what happens? Then lipid melts in alcohol and it goes away. When lipid go away, then along with the lipid, the crystal violet iodine complex also go away. Is that clear? Is it clear? Hello.
Okay, sir.
Okay, Vishal. Now check it here. When these colors go away, means gram stain go away, then it will appear colorless. It is colorless, so it will take the counter stain saffron in. But in this case, in gram-positive bacteria, it has retained the original color, original stain, so it will not take this saffron in. Thus, it will appear violet, and we are inferring it as gram-positive, and it will appear red, and so it will be gram-negative. Okay, the red one is negative. I think this is clear to all of you.
Yes, sir.
If it
Yes,
is
sir.
not clear, please tell me. Is it clear to all of you? Since some of you have joined late, I have seen. Is it clear to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Tanvi,
Yes, sir.
fine. समझ में आ
Yes,
गया?
sir.
Okay, good. So this is about gram positive and gram negative bacteria. Have you written this part? This is called bacterial smear. This is called bacterial smear. We prepare a bacterial smear, then we air dry it. Okay, we air dry it. After air drying, it will be fixed, and then we go for using these colors. Now, one question I want to ask you: have you used saffron in practical class?
No, sir.
Still not.
No, sir.
Okay. Now see, when you will use saffron in, say this is a cell. Inside the cell, you can have a nucleus. You can have so many other organelles. Is not it? So if you do not stain, you cannot see these things properly. Once we stain it, then things becomes very much clearly visible. Now, how it is possible that due to use of a stain, you can see everything clearly? Have you understood my question?
Yes, sir.
When we stain, now how stain works? Let me simplify my question. This is a whiteboard, and here I'm writing something on this board with whiting. Can you see? Can you read this?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, absolutely not. Now, if I stain, say red here, can you see? Can you see?
Yes, sir.
No, sir.
Can you read the written portion?
No, sir.
No, this is not visible. Why it is so? Same thing when you are adding some stain. Everything will be colored, not?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Then how the stain works here?
So different organelles will absorb different amount of stains and the shades will
Exactly,
become light
very
and dark.
good. Yes, exactly. That is called, that's why this type of staining procedure is called differential staining. Is that clear? Different organelle is present here will not take the stain at the same quantity. Some will take more, some will take less. So automatically a contrast will be generating. Is that clear? So we can see things are visible. If we find, if you are adding a stain which is unable to cause this difference, say each and every organelles are taking the same amount, then you will find it will not be a differential staining, rather it will be simply staining. So this type of staining is called differential staining. Very good. I think gram positive, gram negative, this part is clear to you.
Sir,
You have
please show
written.
the upper portion.
Yes, just a minute. This part,
Yes, sir.
write it a bit faster. Is it done?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now check it here. The difference between gram positive bacteria and gram negative bacteria. I have made a chart here. The chart is even very long. I have only added certain points here. Check it here. They retain the gram stain even after washing in organic solvent. And in this case, they cannot retain. So they will appear, gram positive will appear violet. They will appear red based on the color of the what? This counter stain. Thickness of the cell wall. You forget about this measurement. This measurement is not so much important. Just remember, it is. I am intentionally rubbing this because in different module you will find that it is different, and it is not given in NCERT also. Okay, so it is not required. This is the exact data in most of the cases. In higher books you will find this is the data, but still I don't like to use it. Simply write it here. The cell wall is thick in case of gram positive bacteria and thin in case of gram negative bacteria. But here it is more complex. In gram negative bacteria, it is two layered. Two layered, I have shown you, two layered. One is peptidoglycan layer, another is lipoprotein layer. And in this case, it is single layered. Single layered but thicker. A periplasmic space or gel is less conspicuous. That is what between two outer membrane you may find a space. So that's called periplasmic space. And this is what periplasmic space or gel lies between cell wall and plasma membrane, and this is less distinct here. Lipid content is low, only 1 to 5%. This is a bigger range. In most of the book, you'll find it is hardly 2 to 3 range, 2 to 3%. Lipid content is very high, 20 to 30% at least is present. Peptidoglycan content of the cell wall is 70 to 80%, and here peptidoglycan content is very less. That's why it is thinner, 10 to 20% only peptidoglycan. The wall contains teichoic acid. So this is another component which is found absolutely only in gram positive bacteria, but these are absent in gram negative bacteria, teichoic acid. Flagella possess single pair of rings in the region of basal body. Now what is that? If you find this is a bacteria, forget about this is, say this is a bacteria. Okay, say this is a bacteria and this is the flagella. This is the flagella, consider. Okay, in this flagella you'll find three components are there. First of all, here you'll find a disc like structure, one disc, there will be two discs. In this way, ultimately how many discs are present? Four discs are present in case of gram negative bacteria, but in gram positive bacteria only two discs are present. The discs have some names also, like outer ring is called L, this is called P, this is called S, and the innermost one is called M. Okay, so like this, they have some name. If you forget, no problem. Okay, so ILPSM. So in this way, outer to inner discs are present. In gram positive bacteria, only this inner two discs are present. These two discs are absent in gram positive bacteria. Is that clear? So these are discs. You'll find another structure that is called a hook. A hook is also present here, and this is the filament. Clear? So because of the presence of hook, actually hook present like this, slightly curved, and then you'll find this is the filament. So in this way, flagella is present, and this is the cell wall. Here, four basal discs are present in case of gram negative, and two basal discs are present in case of gram positive bacteria. Right? So this is the overall flagella. Bacterial flagella is made up of a specific protein that is called flagellin. Flagellin protein. In case of eukaryote, we find it is different. It is made up of tubulin protein. Clear? So bacterial flagella has flagellin protein and eukaryotic flagella has tubulin protein, that we will discuss in the later portion. Now check it here. So flagella we have studied. Mesosomes are well developed in gram positive bacteria. What are mesosomes? Mesosomes are extension of the plasma membrane. Okay, mesosomes are extension of the plasma membrane. They will be like this. So mesosomes may be of two types. Some mesosomes are present where at the center, and you will find they are actually associated with the DNA. Okay, they will join this DNA and help in DNA replication and cell wall formation. Some other mesosomes they basically store respiratory enzymes. Okay, respiratory enzymes. Respiratory enzymes. So in case of eukaryotic cell, we find mitochondria is there. Mitochondria contains respiratory enzyme. But in case of prokaryotes, respiratory enzymes are present in mesosome. What we can say? That mesosomes are representing the mitochondria of eukaryotic cell, right? If we find mesosomes are absent, then can you tell me where the respiratory enzymes will be present? If we find mesosome is absent, which is storing the respiratory enzymes. If this mesosome is absent, then where the respiratory enzymes will be present? Hello. Then respiratory enzymes you'll find in the plasma membrane. Where? In the plasma membrane. Can you remember? If we find mesosome is absent, which is storing the respiratory enzymes, if it is absent, then we find what? We find respiratory enzymes are absent. No, respiratory enzymes will be present, but it will be in the plasma membrane. I think this is clear. Next check. Pathogenic forms are fewer. in gram-positive bacteria, pathogenic forms are less, and most of the pathogenic bacteria are gram-negative bacteria. Okay, have you seen this ad Yakult?
Yes, sir.
What
Yes,
is
sir.
Yakult? What is Yakult?
Sir, immunity developer.
So what is there?
Yogurt.
Yogurt. No, 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 not yogurt. In Yakult, say if anybody has a stomach disorder, then when he go to doctor, basically doctor prescribes him what nowadays? Antibiotic, is not it? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
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 But nowadays doctor hardly prescribes antibiotic for that. You will find if doctor prescribes antibiotic, then also along with antibiotic they will give you probiotics. What is probiotic then? Hmm? Probiotics are live bacteria. What it is? They are live bacteria in powdered form. Okay, they are produced and they are maybe within the capsule or wherever it may be in the solution. It will be kept preserved. Okay, so it is very important to keep probiotics in refrigerator. Otherwise, it will get damaged. So probiotics are what? They are nothing but live bacteria. Okay, so in probiotic solution you will find all the gram positive bacteria which are beneficial for our body are added. So what we consume directly, the bacteria we consume. Now check it what happens. Say this is the alimentary canal. In alimentary canal, what will happen when we are introducing these probiotics? Probiotic now will enter here and will then fight with this harmful bacteria. Is this clear? Say here the probiotics will occupy and they will now fight with the harmful bacteria and occupy their place. Is this clear? So that is the idea of using probiotics. So what we are consuming? Live bacteria. So yogurt, curd, these are good or bad?
Good.
Good.
How? Is it better than milk? Hmm? Drinking milk is good or eating curd is good? Better. Which one is better?
Card.
The card,
Why?
It contains live bacteria.
uh, it
Yes,
contains the probacteria.
it contains live bacteria. This is one point. Actually,
Yes, sir.
drinking milk is every time not a very good idea. Drinking milk is not every time very good idea. Peoples basically who are from Mongoloid origin, basically if we go to China or in Japan, those peoples are basically Mongoloid. So Mongoloid peoples from origin, they have a thought that milk is for the calf, we are not to steal it. And Mongoloids people generally don't drink milk. Okay, and they avoid milk products. If you go to Japan, you'll find they never give their young ones to drink milk. This is a crime in their case. Okay, so if anybody drink milk, there are cases just after drinking milk, person have died. Why it is so? Because of the milk protein. Some people cannot digest milk protein, and actually milk protein can be digested only up to 1.5 years old. Clear?
Sir, they are
Then
lactose intolerant.
lactose intolerant plus renin is not synthesized in adult. So people who are from Caucasian origin, they have a thought from the very beginning that milk is the best food. Milk is the best food. Why? Because milk has all the component of a food. So that is the idea. That means if anybody drinks milk, he can survive without eating anything. It is containing water and all the component of food. So that is the idea. So people who have Caucasian origin, they have developed a resistant gene. Is this clear? They have developed a resistant gene, and those people who didn't drink milk for a remote past, so they are basically, some of them are basically lactose intolerant. Is that clear? So because of which sometimes milk may cause problem, but curd never causes any problem. Is this clear? Curd, here bacteria grows, bacteria digests those protein. Now you can easily take curd. Moreover, curd, in that curd, specifically vitamin B12 is very high. Okay, along with other vitamins and amino acids, vitamin B12 is very high. I have another question. When we take an antibiotic, sometimes you have found, no, after consumption of antibiotic, people become weaker. Have seen or not?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Yes. Now
Sir.
what? Yes. What is an antibiotic?
Sir. Sir.
Hmm?
Sir. It. It. It, it kills bacteria.
It kills bacteria. What is the source of antibiotic?
Sir, penicillin.
All the antibiotics are not produced from penicillin. Penicillin is obtained from penicillium. That is a case specific. Means what? We can have antibiotics from bacteria or from fungi. Okay, that means they have biotic origin, right?
Yes, sir.
Weak bacteria, no, Sarthak, antibiotics are not weak bacteria. Don't forget this. Don't do this mistake. Antibiotics are not weak bacteria. Weak bacteria are called vaccines. What I know, you are actually keeping this idea. Vaccines earlier in the first generation vaccine, weak and this means almost dead bacteria are being inoculated. So that is vaccination. It was done in remote past, not now. Now antibiotic, when you say, then they have biotic origin. Antibiotic means what? Certain bacteria, they produces certain bacteria, they produces some chemicals and release them. When they release them, then surrounding this bacterial colony, you will find, say this is a bacterial colony. Surrounding this bacterial colony, you will find a clear zone. Is this clear? Say this is a clear zone. So because of this clear zone, you will find nearby this clear zone, any other bacteria cannot grow. Is this clear? Nearby, say this is another colony of another bacteria. So earlier, say this bacteria was growing and its size was small. Now slowly what will happen, because it is releasing some antibiotics or some toxin material, so these toxins are killing this bacteria, because bacteria, they don't have hand and legs to fight with. So how to fight? They can fight only with some chemicals. Okay, so they release some chemicals. Now if we find some of these chemicals, these are useful to us and they are not causing any harmful effect in our body, then we can use them as antibiotics. Is this clear now? समझ में आ रहा है ना?
Sir, could you please explain that clear zone?
See, this is a petri dish. This is a petri dish. This is one bacterial colony, and say this is another bacterial colony. They are growing side by side. But the black colony, or say red colony, it is releasing what? An antibiotic. So not antibiotic, a chemical you can say, and because of which it is releasing a what antibiotic, no? I'm changing the color so that you can understand easily. Now what is happening? This is the colony. The red part is the colony, and this is what? A clear zone. Clear zone means what? Here this bacteria cannot grow. Earlier this bacteria, now slowly this colony, the red part will enlarge, no? It will enlarge, and along with which the clear zone is also enlarging. Check it here. Clear zone is also enlarging. So when the clear zone means what? In this clear zone, who cannot grow?
Other bacteria.
The other bacteria, the black one, it is unable to grow. So in up to this zone, see, nothing is growing. So this is called a clear zone, right? So ultimately what will happen? This bacteria, it will die, and this colony will occupy the whole place. So this is how antibiotic work. Now we identify such type of bacteria which are releasing this type of chemicals. Then we screen out these chemicals, and then we test. And after so many trials, if we find that this particular component has no side effects on human being, then we can use them as an antibiotic, right? Now, what is the first and foremost condition to become an antibiotic? That it should not cause any harmful effect on us. Is that clear? It should not have any side effects. So if it is so, then after having antibiotic, why people become weak?
Sir,
Sir,
that
because it
chemical
kills the other
destroys.
bacteria.
Huh?
Sir,
Sir,
that
because it
chemical
kills the other
destroys.
bacteria.
Yes, Samay, you please.
Sir, it kills the other bacteria.
Which bacteria?
Mhm. Sir, the
Sir,
Sir,
harmful one.
useful bacteria also.
Sir, which are living in
Yes,
our body?
exactly. Which are living in our body in which part?
Sir, in the
Gut.
colon.
In the
Elementary.
alimentary canal, exactly. In the colon or in the alimentary canal, there are lots of bacteria are present, and non-stop they are supplying some of the content like some amino acids, some vitamin. They're non-stop supplying us food. What we eat are not sufficient actually. Those bacteria are supplying all these things. So when this beneficial bacteria die, specifically vitamin B12 or vitamin B complex. So when this beneficial bacteria die, then what will happen? We feel weak because of the deficiency of some of the nutrient component what the bacteria were supplying to us. Is this clear now? So after consumption, now if you note one thing, when you visit a doctor and doctor write down one medicine, say it's an antibiotic, then along with the antibiotic in most of the cases, doctor gives you what? A vitamin capsule. Have you seen? Have you noted?
Yes, sir.
Next time you note. Yes.
Yes, sir.
So doctor will always prescribe you one vitamin along with an antibiotic. Okay, generally for most of the antibiotic. Now, if it is broad spectrum antibiotic, then he will definitely give you. Now, broad spectrum means what? One antibiotic which can kill a range of bacteria, different bacteria it can kill. A broad spectrum antibiotic can kill both gram positive as well as gram negative bacteria. And narrow spectrum antibiotics, they will be target specific. They will kill only certain groups of bacteria, right? Is this clear? Now
Yes, sir.
see, bacteria have this layer, a positive gram positive bacteria. It has peptidoglycan in its wall, and if we utilize penicillin, then what will happen? Penicillin will disrupt this cell wall and also causes disturbance in the permeability. So what will happen? This bacteria will die. But if it is a gram negative bacteria, it is resistant towards penicillin because it has a lipoprotein layer which is very much resistant. So this penicillin can do nothing to this gram negative bacteria. Is this clear now? Penicillin acts best towards gram positive bacteria, but penicillin is useless for gram negative bacteria. Can you remember this much?
Yes, sir.
So this is another difference between gram positive and gram negative bacteria. You can add this point to this chart. Okay, gram positive bacteria are sensitive towards penicillin, but gram negative bacteria are insensitive towards penicillin. Now, if you want to kill gram negative bacteria, how will you kill? Which antibiotic you will choose? You will choose an antibiotic which stops its metabolic process, say which stops its protein synthesis or stops its metabolic any other metabolic process. Then we can use them as an antibiotic for gram negative bacteria. Is this clear? Say chloramphenicol, neomycin, tetracycline, so many other antibiotics are there. They are acting against those gram negative bacteria, right?
Sir,
Ha, bolo.
sir, these chemicals will not damage the other cells of our body.
See, these are target specific, no? That's why I told you all the chemicals cannot be taken as an antibiotic. To become an antibiotic, it has to pass through so many parameters. Now see, in case of bacteria, its DNA, its functional aspects, its the enzymes which are associated with the DNA replication or protein synthesis are different from our bodies. Is that clear? Because these are prokaryotes. Getting my point? So if these are prokaryotes, no? So for prokaryotes, one specific enzyme is required. You are blocking or you are destroying that enzyme synthesis, or you are destroying a particular protein synthesis, which is very much essential for this bacteria. That protein is not essential to our body, no? So in that way, we can, our body will be safe. Is this clear, Tanvi?
Yes, sir.
I'm not going in that much detail because you don't know how replication occurs, how transcription occurs, but I'm giving you a rough idea that how it works. I think it is clear. That's why our body remains safe. Slowly we'll come to know all these things when we'll discuss transcription, translation, the different process of metabolism. Then it will be very much clear that how these antibiotics works. So we have discussed the difference between gram positive and gram negative bacteria. Gram staining is written somewhere. See, this is the cell wall composition. Few portions you can find a bit excess I have written here. Actually, this particular module, I wanted to publish a book, so I have written that. So few things a bit extra you can find, and not required now. Now check it here. Shape of bacteria. In your NCERT book, if you open the second or third page, you'll find this diagrams are given. Diagrams of some bacteria are given. You can find based on that we can say a bacteria has a spherical structure. More than two cells may join. They may join each other and form a chain. Okay, like this. They may join each other, but they may form a cluster instead of forming a chain like a bunch of grapes. Is this clear? So they may join like this without forming any specific structure. Okay, they may join each other and form certain specific geometric shape. Like this. आया समझ में? So for each and every one, we are having some term. A spherical bacteria is called coccus. This is called monococcus. This is called diplococcus. This is called in chain, no? So streptococcus. In bunch, this is called staphylococcus. And if they form any geometric shape, then this is called sarcinate. SAR. CIMA. Sarcini or sarcinate. Okay, sarcinate. A bacteria may be rod shaped like this. You may find two rods are joining each other like this. You may find large number of rods are joining and forming a structure like this. Sometimes you may find the cells are forming a stack-like structure like this, one above another. All are rod-shaped. So based on that, we can say this is bacillus or monobacillus. Simply, you can use the term bacillus also. This is diplobacillus. This is what? What is the term? When they are in chain, these are called
Streptobacillus.
and if you will find they are in stack, then it's called palisade. Okay, then it's called palisade. Some of the bacteria you may find they are slightly curved. If they are slightly curved, this is forming a comma shaped structure. Okay, they may be comma shaped, and a comma shaped bacteria is called Vibrio. Say Vibrio cholera. Vibrio. And some of them may have more than one curvature. Then these are called Spirillum. Bus. So how many types you have seen? There may be coccus, there may be bacillus. These are all bacillus. Okay. There may be vibrio, there may be spirillum. Sometimes you may find a bacteria may form a barred-like structure. This is not given in NCERT, but remember these 4 types. Enough. Have you drawn the structures?
Yes, sir.
Class is up to 4, no? Can we?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you have any other class now?
No, sir, I don't have.
But I have after some time. So I'm concluding the class now. Have you drawn all these structures?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So we have discussed basically gram staining and different characters of gram staining. I'll send that PDF, and different shapes of bacteria we have discussed. Okay, so some more topic like metabolism in bacteria. Okay, and detailed structure, ultrastructure of bacterial cell we'll discuss next. Okay. Okay, then thank you everybody.
Thank
Bye,
you,
sir.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So.
Thank you, Bhuvana.
Bye, sir.
Bye bye.